All right, attention back on me. You guys all see me in that picture?
Yep.
So I'm orange, red, and yellow.
Yep.
This is a thermal imaging camera.
Yep.
Okay, so really what we're looking for here are those blue and black spots to start moving on their own. Okay, so this is already recording, and obviously you guys are going to get this full video back in the morning. So it records a point of audio, so whoever has this is going to be separated from me, so that way we have 2 points of audio. And also I'm going to go through in more in-depth at our first location. So again, this is kind of a quick, let's get your devices in your hands, you know what they are and kind of how to operate them. But as we move along, I'll give you different tactics on how to use them effectively. So really what we're looking for, Jeff, is going to be blue spots moving across an orange, red, or yellow. So you want to try to keep somebody's skin temperature, because that's going to be the base for all of your, everything around it. If you take me out of it, it's going to fluctuate, and the orange, red, and yellow is going to go somewhere else.
But it's picking up film right there walking.
Right.
Hey, are you guys ghosts?
No,
we don't really know.
She said yes. That's going to go to you, buddy. So you're going to hold that horizontal all night. If that red square turns to a circle, just let me know. That just means I have to splice some video together.
All right.
Okay. Good with that?
Yep.
All right. Let's keep going.
All right. Are you the recorder all night?
Yeah.
Dude, you're like Aaron Goodwin, dude.
Oh.
You get the shit into this thing every fucking night, bro.
Why check.
Dude, I feel so sorry for that guy. You know what I'm talking about? Aaron Goodwin?
Spirit boxes.
No.
We're going to be using several different types of spirit boxes tonight. So, the first one is going to sweep through FM radio stations at a very quick rate. For those of you that watch the TV shows, it's that white static noise, and then Zach Bagans tells you the bullshit he thinks he heard, and it's all fake. So
it's not all fake. Quit playing with my emotions.
So, we're going to be doing it in real time. My spirit box is actually set up a little bit different. It's set up to sweep a little slower than just white static. I want the radio chatter to come through. The song lyrics, the DJs, the commercials. I want that stuff to come through.
I have one in my house.
So with that said, whoever has this particular one, whatever you hear, we want to know about it. The cool thing about this is it's going to record the entire sweep for us, no outside noise, even when it's on mute. So I give you the full recording back, and I give you a few audio markers of things that I found tomorrow morning. I am going to go through some of your data. I'm not going to go through all of it, because that would be taking away the fun of the rest of your tour. Right. You're never going to forget the time you're going to spend with me, except maybe Koki, who's drunk.
But we're going to revisit this Sunday when she gets married.
Yes.
So, that's the best part.
At least a couple times a year.
So, do you ask questions?
Oh yeah, we're going to go through that.
You ask the questions, wait for a response, and ask more questions? Okay.
But we're going to go through
I just want to make sure you were doing it right.
That's cold.
Jay, I think you're going to go with this one. You have one button to worry about. It's volume.
Wait, that's too many buttons.
Jay, don't fuck it up.
Hang on.
Right?
You're going to control the volume. There's going to be certain places we go to where I say keep it out just you, because we don't want to push horses.
I think so.
We're going to be near some horses. So I'll kind of go through
Yeah,
it.
like if we see a dark object moving like that. At least it's good, keep the people it's from.
Did you hear that? She said that when he lost his phone, he might not be the best person.
You don't have to. Listen, bro, you don't have
Mean electronics are not great,
They
bro.
are not.
I know, are you sure you want to give it to him? He just lost his phone today.
I'm drunk, and he should trust
Maybe
me
not a
better
good
than
idea.
you on a sober day.
You're going to get hit, sir.
Man.
Good Lord.
You're going to get the best of the best.
The second spirit box we're going to have is going to do the exact same thing that Jay's does, but it doesn't
Are you guys from
record anything. So what we're going to do
Nobody
is
can
we're going to
drive
give
around
this
here.
one over
I've
to
only been here a
Leslie.
day. Nobody can drive.
No, I can't.
Yes, it's me. It's me. Leslie's ready.
Does the exact same thing his does,
Yeah.
but it doesn't record. So the fact that he's got audio recorded there, we'll be able to hopefully, if you hear something in real time, we'll have it on his audio, because I'm sure that the two of you are not going to be separated.
Correct.
The only thing that you need to worry about is the button on the side of the speaker. You hold it up to turn the volume up. And then obviously hold it down, turn it down. Most people are right-handers, and it's up to go up, down to go down. Okay, got it. Last spirit box, hit the half. So this one is actually going to do this one. As soon as I get it fired up here.
I love it. I hope somebody gets touched.
So
You're BS.
this one gives us a word in the center of the screen from time to time. Okay, so it'll save all of those words to a list. This is from my last tour.
Like,
they had
this
about
is a ghost might talk and be like, hey, what do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean the word?
so
She doesn't have
it's going to give us words in the center from time to time. 80% of what shows up through this thing is absolute bullshit. It doesn't mean anything because this app is actually meant to be a game and a host, kind of like the SLS one that you have. So the other 5 to 20% are things that I'm going to be able to give you backlinks to.
Yeah.
So with that
We're
being
gonna know what's real and what's bullshit. What do you do?
because I'm going to tell you the stories, and if we get a direct answer, then we obviously know that it's a specific detail that pertains to that particular
I
story.
like that. That's super smart, man.
So again, this one's going to go to you because you have so many questions about it. You don't have to do anything; just read the words.
I love
So you
that.
gotta
That'll
do
keep your anxious down.
Really?
For real, for real.
Talking to me. Until
No,
somebody
you
talks
tell
to
me
her,
that
she's
it's
like,
not
oh my
really
god.
hard to challenge that shit.
Yeah, she's like, I was like,
Oh, questions though, for real.
You said run. I know I'm drunk. Shoes off, I'm out. I love this shit.
This is her favorite thing in her whole life. And she's getting married tomorrow.
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, I'm tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys.
So this is the same one they use on the TV shows.
Okay.
Okay, but this one is the reason why they use it is because it's so sensitive.
Yeah.
It measures 3 different types of electromagnetic waves. The first one is natural. That's why this is green. It's not doing anything.
I got this.
The second one is going to give us pulses or rhythms because it's coming from man-made objects.
Okay.
So with parking meters, cell phones, things like that are going to make it go into a pulse. We don't want that. We want it to go around. We want it to go crazy. You have to let us know when it's doing it.
Away from all the shit that he just said.
Right. When it goes, when it hits the red, I'll be like,
That's the one I got. I got the digital.
so when it goes
That's
to yellow,
actually-
that's like part
that's
of the
actually
When we go to
exact-
orange and red, I should worry.
That's actually I'm gonna be like, here.
How when it gets to orange and red?
You're getting my brand new device.
Oh!
Yes, dude. Yeah. I can't wait to hear it.
Get all this on video, please.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Rob, was it? You're gonna be my cameraman.
All right.
So, with that being said, I just got this new attachment, so it does a couple of different things. First one, it's going to give us full spectrum light, but this can't pick that up, so I don't care about that. I'm more worried about night vision, because I get the click on it. So, as you're taking pictures, obviously, there is a Velcro at the bottom, it just doesn't like to stay there. So, as you're taking pictures, the big button obviously takes the picture. And then I'm going to look at all these in the morning and see if anything kind of shows up out of it.
It's good. Okay.
Now,
It's good.
again, the regular does show up. It's just not very bright. That's up to you, but it's not going to stay attached on the sun right now. It's going to get like 2 hands.
So, where are the buttons?
There are 2 switches right here. You just got to be careful around cars. Okay, so you got to keep. Obviously, I'll say it's okay for night vision in certain places, other places it won't be. So, it'll be my favorite thing.
So that's me, but this is how you know it's safe.
All right. One last device.
my turn?
Yep. So I need everybody to kind of focus in on this.
It's my turn.
So this is a millimeter. This millimeter does a lot of things. So I kind of need you to really focus on what I'm telling you here.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes up.
Come
so
on.
the first thing it's doing, let's go ahead and turn it down. So I'm already feel like I'm screaming. So it's going to give, it works 3 different things. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Your bottom number is ambient temperature. So if Jeff finds something weird on there, we can figure out what the hell's going on. I also have a surface temperature gun in my bag. The top number is an EMF, just like hers. Only this just measures the abnormal things. Last but not least, it has a REM pod. So,
Yeah, dude.
so REM pod, we're not going to leave it on all the time. So what's a REM pod? A REM pod detects motion. So if there's anything that passes by, let me get the base level here. So if anything passes by or gets close to this antenna, it's going to go up. It's going to break the EMF field that it's creating around this particular antenna. So again, we're going to talk more about this in our first location, but because this guy is super annoying, he's really sensitive. So again, somebody's already been kind of playing with my antenna, and I've only had this thing a few weeks, and I haven't handed it out a whole lot.
hang up over there.
when we're not using the red if you don't mind.
This might be your last chance. You never know.
I'm not gonna play with these.
Don't rule it out.
On the back, just kind of leave it loose like that because we're going to need to access these buttons back here. And it just becomes a pain in the ass. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm flashing you right in the
I
face.
don't know how to use this, but you're gonna tell me when?
Oh, yeah.
Tag? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I'm going to be
I
working
know
with
what it is.
all of you guys
Well,
individually.
I never use it, so I don't know how it works. Exactly.
All right. Everybody's got some kind of device in their hands, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course, we start here because the place is haunted. So this place used to be called Big John's. How long have you two lived here?
Oh, our
Yeah.
whole lives. We're
You guys
born
remember
and
Big
raised.
John's?
Oh yeah. All the bras.
Yeah,
on
we're
the
just
ceiling.
small little low country on you now. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So Big
I know,
John,
I'm laughing like last year I just did my first like architectural tour in Chicago. I'm like,
it's going to turn off after a minute or two. So you just got to turn it right.
Chicago.
It's the little button right next to the snapshot. All right.
No.
So Big John was a football player. Jay.
Yes, sir. Jay.
I'm going to be the teacher now. Yes, sir. Okay. So I said you guys chewing gum. You guys all got detention. So Big John he owned the place. He was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. Okay. So he used to sit in the back of the bar and tell the bartender if the cadets that were coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink. One night, two guys come in. They're not old. Big John tells the bartender to kick them out. So he does. The next night he comes, the two guys come back and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees what's happening. They get into a big bar brawl. A couple of shots were fired, and John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet goes into the wall behind him. He gets backed up, and he goes to the bar, and he says to the bartender, "Get me another beer. Go get them two guys an ambulance." John was the one that got shot. Also, keep in mind, nobody died in that story. So what's haunting the place? It's the bullet hole. It's still here. It is haunted. Exactly.
But who's haunting it?
I told her it's
So-
residual.
So who's haunting it
Oh,
then?
you're good.
But Big John didn't die.
So
He didn't die.
It's the person that Big John killed. It's the bullet.
Nobody died.
Nobody died in that story.
It's the bullet. It's the
So-
residual.
So here's what happens when I'm in there. At times, I will get an EMF reading just from inside the front of this building only, and it's only from time to time. People that tend to sit in the front of the bar get a little headaches, queasiness, just a little bit nauseous, okay? I bring this story up on purpose, and it's another reason why we start here. I don't say this to scare you, because this is technically not a scary tour.
No. I'm sorry.
She's like, you're not scary at all. I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to prove that
I'm like,
ghost
no one
hunting
even
doesn't
died.
have to be scary. So with that said, if anybody feels any of those symptoms in any of the locations we go tonight, I need to know immediately.
Okay.
Like, it's a big deal. Somebody mentioned that they know CPR. Who was that?
Me.
So the first time somebody passed out on my tour, I was in CPR class the next day. So I don't say this shit to
I'm
scare
certified.
you. Good. So am I.
Me too.
I should carry that with me, actually.
I know I'm
But
drunk,
anyway.
but
So, we had a big earthquake here in 1886. I want to get your minds off the fact that you might get sick from this tour.
Okay.
Right? So, 1886, there was an earthquake. It was a big one for us because Charleston doesn't get earthquakes. I'm going to mention earthquakes several times tonight because it has little weird things around the city.
since the Charleston jail.
We're not going to the jail.
Okay.
So, the mantle above your heads, apparently a piece of that broke off and hit somebody in the head in the front of the building and killed them. Allegedly, that was the first. Wait, there's apartments up there. You can't do that.
Okay, that's what
Again, we gotta be real careful with that.
I
one.
got you. I got you.
So, I don't have any proof of that death. It's just a great story, so you guys aren't thinking that you're gonna get sick and faint on my tour. You guys ready to go ghost hunting now?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you about our first location before we even move on. There's horses in the barn that we're about to go to. We cannot be loud.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes.
That's what I told my mom when she pulled in my driveway. You can't be loud.
All right.
Those bougie ass
Let's go
people.
this.
I'm not kidding. Listen,
Yeah.
24 years. You can't be loud. That's what I told my mom.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's
Yeah.
down further.
No,
You were totally right.
It's on audio and video now. You said I was right.
And you're a witness.
Right? I'm gonna get tired of holding this thing up level all night with my arm. Well, we can.
I gotta. Dude, I had a three
What? I
thing.
mean, or these parking meters. I don't even like that front, like the first two.
So, but look at it. It's completely erratic. Parking meters are gonna give it a pulse.
Oh.
And literally, if something was making this go off, it's touching it. A parking meter, you would literally have to be standing like almost next to it, and the electrical lines from underneath it will make it go off.
Oh, I thought we got into the orange and the red. That was like.
Anything
out
off that green, I
0.03.
want to know.
Okay.
All right, so let's move a little closer this way because some cars do kind of come in and out here. You guys are going to find out that I love parking lots, okay? Because it gives
You
us a
just said
chance
hi,
to explore.
guys.
Yep. And speak, for example. Again, very vague terms. So let's talk more about your devices. First off, this is the red barn lot. Okay, the horses are in the barn, like I mentioned before. So we don't want to have that light on the barn at any point in time. Nobody here has lasers, which is good. I kind of kept those in the bag on purpose. So alcohol and lasers, yeah, anything above 0.4.
It was like 16.
Sorry.
I swear that's why I turned around. It said 0.16.
We're going to go through what all of these devices are going to do.
Look, it says 0.32. You said anything above 0.4, it says 0.32, bro. And then it would drop back down to 0.
Because it's like about to latch on to you. Hold on, let's find out.
Whoa, bro.
Spirit boxes. Let's talk about those. The only history I have of this building. Is that one of our people? No.
They keep running by.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just want to make sure we're still good. So, the only history I have of this building is this is the same red barn where we kept horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So whenever I tell you stories or a history of a building, I'm going to emphasize keywords for all the spirit boxes that are out. Okay, so let's talk about those spirit boxes. This is not TV. This is not, is somebody here, right? Because if somebody says no, it means somebody's here. Okay, they're just lying to you, right? It's a direct answer. If a real estate commercial comes through on your guys' spirit boxes and you hear the word houses out of that commercial, you think you heard yes because it is a very common term. So again, those sounds, S and O, are too common. So just stay away from yes and no questions altogether. We don't want to even bother with them. We want specific details to actually get a little bit more history.
I'm sorry. What's an S and O question?
We're staying away
Oh,
from
just
yes
say
and no.
yes. Oh, yes and no. I think it's an
Yeah,
S
so-
and a no. I'm like, what's an S and a no?
Well,
Yes and
I
no,
emphasize
sorry.
S and
Sorry.
O because they're common sounds.
Okay,
So we
sorry.
don't want to go with that. We want to go with something very specific. When you think of your entire time with me as kind of a class on how to use these devices, this is the novice level. Okay, so this is a chance for me to bounce around with each one of you to show you more tactics. But with the spirit boxes, we're going to start off with something simple of, we all can see that the barn is red, right? So if somebody's here, tell us what the color the barn is. You're going to listen for the color red or something that is specifically red. You have to remember, your spirit boxes, the two noisy ones, they're kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers. They're looking for words to be able to transpose back to us. So fire truck, it's always red. You might hear the word fire truck. I've had the word heart come up here before.
Okay.
Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
put these
yeah,
clues
yeah,
together.
puns.
So if you don't get an answer after 2, 3, or 4 tries, you're going to try another question like what's inside the barn. You're opening the whole thing up because now you know a little bit of the history. So delivery, milk, calcium. They also delivered eggs, which means protein. Horses are in there. Anything related to the horses could be a term as well. So again, I also get things from Big John because we're still
Look,
relatively
it's
close.
at 1.14.
It's going to move around a little bit. And I'm going to get
It's in the middle of the sky, bro. 1.14.
so
But she's seen it.
Drifting up on you.
spirit boxes at this point, like you guys can start drifting and asking those type of questions, but always go after something you can prove. It's not how they felt or anything like that. I can't prove that somebody was happy or sad. So
Look, they look real happy over here. 1.14 is real happy, bro.
I'm gonna start off with the thermal imaging and kind of going into the detail with that. But you have
Fuck yours, Pokey. We're not talking about yours.
So your first green light, pay attention. So her first green light means 0.4 here. Anything, and
But
hers
why
only-
say 1.14? It said 1.14.
It did say one.
It's going to take 0.4 for hers to go up. This measures more than yours. So when her cap is at 25, I've seen yours go all the way up to 116. So,
That's not what you said. Yeah.
but yours is actually more accurate than hers. So I kind of want you two to kind of compare because I'm still learning things about this device.
See, now when I point this way, look
I
at
can
like.
teach you about this device.
Well, we're going to teach you as we go through the
It's
location.
like, woo!
All right, so
See, now they pointed at the barn.
thermal
It
imaging.
starts going
Let's
Yeah.
go through that real quick.
Alright.
So again, I'm going to show you a little bit of proof so you kind of know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Can I not be an idiot about myself? You ready?
Yeah.
Ready, go.
And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here because we wasted a lot over there.
Sure.
Like the 12 again.
You would think of being a Walmart manager managing over 300 people for 10 years.
Yeah. People always have the X, tend to throw an X factor in there, right?
then 0.08.
It's all good. Because I'm not going to cut anything out.
You know, just study.
All right, so this is a video of the next location we're going to. This is obviously a wall, okay, the big orange. So you're going to see two living people. You see their heads above the wall?
Yep.
They're just walking past it on the other side. So we're going to fast forward a few seconds, and we're going to see two dead people coming the opposite way. I'll point it out as they come close. They're going to be right about there. Boom.
Didn't say it.
Oh, I see what you're talking. Yeah,
Literally
yeah, yeah.
two heads. So what's odd about that is this guy's skin temperature is in the picture the whole time.
Right.
That's why I say you want to try to keep a base. So you're literally looking for black and blue spots to kind of move on their own. I have more. I just haven't clipped it yet. I got them a few weeks ago.
Okay, no, I totally know what
But
I'm
yeah,
looking for then.
those were, when they're black like that, that's a 25-degree difference from the hottest point or more, because it can't go any darker than black.
Right.
So again, if it was 25 degrees, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
yeah.
big deal.
Yep.
But
definitely.
yeah, you're going to kind of wander with here and listen in with her on that
Okay.
spirit box, because that'll kind of help you guys verify. I'm going to show with this one here. Again, we're not going to spend a ton of time here, but get used to the different types of material. For example.
Okay.
Yeah. So this particular guy.
So you want to go over by the barn?
Yeah.
Let's go to the bar. Can you hear it? What color is the barn?
But
Planned pregnancies.
what?
I just can't hear you.
Planned pregnancies.
You're going to have to hold it because I need to get more liquid.
Okay.
Talk to Jeff.
What is inside the barn?
What did it say?
Jeff?
Did it say?
Maybe, I don't know. What's inside the barn?
Who am I standing beside?
Who is next to me?
What did it say?
I don't know, it sounded like a Chinese woman.
You stop.
You see?
Harder.
Okay. What should I do harder?
I like the spirit box.
What's my favorite color? What color is the barn?
It says run.
Oh my god.
Okay. If there's someone here, what's inside the barn? Dead? Dead what? So what color is the barn?
It's funny, your face is red, but if you turn around, your hair blocks all the thermal.
I'm sorry?
Did you end up hearing anything out of that?
No.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go learn some real history now. I am going to cut this part short so that way we can get to the good location.
Let's do it.
Okay, alright.
Alright guys, let's go this way.
Can I leave the spirit box running? Or no?
Well, I'm going to be telling a
Oh,
story
you're
over there.
telling the story. I'll turn it down there.
Let me get. I'm the only one that wonders out of the whole group, unfortunately. And that's just a military thing, so don't worry about it. If I get lost, just let me go. I honestly will pay my way back.
I gave all of you guys my phone number.
Right. I lost my phone, actually. I was going on the ghost tour to the prison. I lost my phone that day. Man, we honestly went home, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing. Lost my phone. Couldn't track it, tracking was off.
Are you hungry?
Yes, another parking lot. Take you to all the great sightseeing places in Charleston. If anything, you'll know where to park and where not to
Wow,
park.
look
by
at
going
it.
forward.
It's going off the
Holy
rails.
schnapples. All right, get everybody over here. Come on. We got stuff to learn.
Mine's going off the rails.
So it's like 2.94. So
Turn the REM pod up. 'Cause I'm going to go through the story here.
All right.
And
So
that way you
mine's
guys know
off
what
the
you're
rails
looking
too.
for. Yeah, you're
can I
going
just
up.
say I think mine just smells food because I'm a fat kid and that's what happens. Like I think it's just
We
the
smell
food.
food, too.
I smell a whole lot of food right now.
I am a little bit hungry.
All right.
Okay.
This is the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion site. So their mansion used to be right where we're standing. Eliza's garden was kind of lined up with that tree all the way across, and then the servant quarters were behind them. So who the hell were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? So they had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. Those two were the signers of our Constitution for South Carolina. So with that said, I don't care about politics, and I don't think any of you guys do either. So we're going to talk about Eliza. She's way cooler. So Eliza got married to Charles at a young age. By the way, I'm not going to be giving you answers like what color is George Washington's white horse kind of thing. Like, we're not going to be doing that. This is where you guys are going to get the answers from your own spirit boxes. So again, kind of pay attention so you know what kind of questions you want to ask, and then I'll give you hopefully some different questions that you can ask because there's a lot of weird stuff here. Eliza married Charles at a young age. I won't tell you how young. Because her father, wow, that didn't sound good.
Can't find them grinders.
Her father thought he was dying. He was over in England and he wanted all of his kids home and she didn't want to go. So she basically got married. This was mid-1700s. There was no citizenship when you got married. It was just, I don't want to go. So she stayed here. Dad got better. He started sending over wedding gifts because he obviously knew that she got married. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. You guys have been here for at least a day or two or your whole lives. So you know indigo is a big deal. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. I don't think anybody's wearing it tonight. Oh, Leslie has it. So she's a perfect example of our indigo. Indigo was already here because of our Gullah culture. Her servants and slaves already knew how to keep it cultivated because they're straight from Africa. So we have very cold temperatures here in the winter, so they helped keep it alive while, she had to learn from them. Once her experiments were done here, she moved it over to Sneed Farm in Mount Pleasant, and then she called her dad. She said, hey, I need some contacts so I can sell this stuff. This is going to be good and expensive. So she starts selling it overseas and becomes one of the very few businesswomen of the mid-colonial times. So, a couple of weird facts about Eliza you can be asking your spirit boxes, because I think I have all spirit boxes in front of me. Turn it down. So,
Turn down.
there you go. Yeah, I want to make sure it's still recording. It's not. I didn't touch anything, I swear. So, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So, what does that mean? It means both Elizas went by their maiden name. They start with L. That's all I'm going to tell you. I didn't tell you how old she was when she got married, but you can also ask anything you want to about her death. How old she was, what did she die from, where is she buried, and which U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So if that doesn't tell you how important this lady was, I don't know what will.
And she died in the mid 1700s, you said, or
She died in the late 1700s.
late 1700s?
She got married in the mid 1700s.
Okay.
So again, you're asking me for details. I see what you're doing. Please don't ask about her children. When I say this, heed the warning, because all activity will stop in the event that we're starting to get a little bit of a conversation going with her. There was a tragedy among the kids. Stay away from it. She doesn't like to talk about it. Okay? I say this from experience.
Like why?
Yeah, she just doesn't want to talk about it. You can ask how many kids she had, but end the conversation about kids there. Move on to something else. You can ask what happened to the mansion. It's obviously no longer here. So that's an easy one to ask. And usually some people figure it out, but I like to get the actual proof. Let's see, what else can you ask? If you want to ask things about Charles' birthday, his political opinions, those kind of things, if you want to dive into Charles. But yeah, we're going to spend a good 10 to 15 minutes here trying to capture this evidence. And the evidence that I showed you actually showed up in that corner.
Okay.
So that's kind of, this is a very big hot spot for me. We're going to collect a lot of data. As far as the camera goes, Rob, people coming to their cars, you want to shut that light off for sure. You don't want that big green night vision on somebody. People do not lay cameras on their cars. So that goes kind of for you too, Jeff. If somebody's coming up, you don't want to be filming them. They get pretty angry with me. So, and I'm a small person.
We want to know the questions. We just ask you, or we just ask out loud?
You ask out loud,
ask
however
out loud.
you want to ask. So some people say, can I ask telepathically? I'm like, if you have that ability, go for it.
Was she 16 when she got married?
No. Here's what I'll tell you.
Older or younger?
She's
She was
20
young-
questions.
She was younger.
So what I will tell you is during that time period,
Yes.
she would have been considered an old hag by the age that she got married.
14. No, it is.
7.
Go ask your questions. Find out what you come up with.
It was the 1700s, right?
When you got married.
I have a whole legit question. I used to do like
She's all
light bulb
serious
stuff.
now. She's legit.
Like I'm so serious. I used to do the light bulb stuff, and I know electricity has a whole lot to do with shit.
16
Right,
was
that's
younger
close.
than
Does
16. I'm
this-
thinking like 12 or
Does
14.
the power lines do something?
Wait, you don't know this, don't you? You already know, Buck? You already know this? You're like, she's younger.
I was thinking
Oh.
1600s, and she didn't want to go back. I was thinking 14, but I have no
Oh,
idea.
that's how I was like 16. I'm like, that's young,
I was
but
thinking 14 because I mean,
14's creepy.
Kathy,
Sorry.
your EMF meter
Yes.
is usually in sync with that blinking light over there. If you hold that thing up like if you're going to take a selfie with it, you can usually, no, face it to you so you can see it. There you go. Usually if you videotape this, you get a pulse here, then a pulse there, pulse there, pulse there. Like it's literally within 2 frames you can get it. It's almost in perfect rhythm with it. All right, we're going to stay within the confines of the lot. Be mindful of people coming in and out. The only entrance is the one we came in. It's also the only exit for cars. And people
14
fly
when
in.
she got married.
No, go find out on your spirit box. Her spirit box. So go ahead and hit the calendar for me. Let's see what other words we have. Nope, nope. Next to the word. There you go. Circle back. Go ask
Okay,
some
let's go over there.
All right.
We need to work together.
I got a ton of the phone. I'm having a hard time finding.
They said to me, I still refuse it. And then I heard it.
Here we can walk. I'm trying to get the
Okay.
volume up.
Probably turn your spirit box up a little higher here. I'm rating anybody's. It's not the easiest job in the world to listen to that either. So when you do catch something in real time, it's exciting. And yours, because it's not a recording, I can't verify it. So we kind of have to have him verify it for you.
Okay.
What other questions are you asking?
I haven't thought of one yet.
What happened to the mansion?
Oh yeah. So what happened to the mansion? I didn't hear anything.
fucking partner. Look, bro. She said your fucking partner. Look, that's the whole thing. She said your fucking partner.
Were you when you got married?
I said, what type of alcohol do you drink? It all. Or you're in here fucking. What type of juice do you like?
See, man.
What was your favorite room in the house?
Do you have a husband?
What happened to the mansion? What happened to the mansion?
What do you like? Say it again. No? Say it again.
What happened to the mansion?
What did you die from?
I love Friday nights. They're great.
Too many characters out of it.
I can't hear theirs because they're all talking over each other. So I came over here to see if I can help you.
Keep going forward. Turn left. Fucking a fat.
Eliza, how many people did I bring with me tonight? Eliza, tell us how many people you see here. How many did I bring with me? And that's a specific number because it excludes me.
Right,
I do that often because sometimes the answer can go somewhere else.
right.
So it can go to his audio, my audio, or the 3 spirit boxes. So if somebody turns around and says, it says 7, I do it all the time just to prove, like, I asked the question and it went somewhere else.
Right.
What other questions were you asking?
I asked how old she was when she got married,
Okay.
and I haven't heard anything.
You didn't ask about the pallbearer? Most people ask about that president
No,
pallbearer.
I didn't ask about that yet. Who was your, what president was your pallbearer?
I think it's a pretty good hit, huh?
Yeah.
I don't do the stick mods anymore. Can't do it.
Yeah.
See, I got the glass one,
Yeah.
so it's cleaner, which is what I like.
We just started with these. This is it's a new one. Like I have to order the coil straight from Smog. But I smoke a lot, so like I got to be able to smoke in the house. You know, it has a much bigger tank to it. You know, it's and plus I smoke Nick salts because they're stronger. So, but yeah, we just started with these. I've had it for about a month. It's pretty good, and it's like wrapped in leather.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
it's
So it
like
doesn't.
padded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this thing never leaves my hand unless I'm working on a book or
Yeah.
guys' data and shit. And
Right.
still, when I'm listening, I just sit back and I smoke, and that happened.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't leave my hand. So it's
Yeah.
but yeah, I smoke a lot. I went from 2 packs a day to vaping.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think this is my 5th year vaping
Okay.
when I quit smoking, but every once in a while.
I'm probably working on about 8 or 9. Because in between there, I kind of went back and forth. I
Yeah.
was divorced, went back to cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And new wife, she's kind of like whatever. And then normally I'll smoke like 1 or 2 before a tour just to keep my nerves,
Yeah.
the epilepsy at bay, to kind of keep everything calm.
Yeah.
Because I smoke in the garage. Nobody gives a shit up there.
Right,
I
right.
spray myself down so I don't smell like smoke because some people are offended.
Yeah.
And I don't even vape on the tours, but when I see a group like this, I'm like, I'm vaping.
Right.
Yeah. Which president was your pallbearer?
Eliza, we'll take the first or last name. Who was that president that was a pallbearer? Told me a few nights ago.
And it'll come out clean, like whatever word is said, it'll be.
So with these slowed down the way they are, I'll just give you the answer to the president piece, just to give you the example. So a few nights ago, it came out with Denzel Washington. I needed the Washington part. When
Right.
it slowed down, it's going to pick up a word before or after the part that I need.
Oh, okay.
So again, it was with Washington, but I also that's a lot to spit out. So again, if it's having they're having a hard time telling me, they'll give me other clues first.
Right.
Wood, because you have wooden teeth. I'll get dentures on a denture commercial. Anything that deals with things like that. And I'm like, oh, that's Washington.
That's why. Yeah.
That's why. But yeah, I've even had the word apple come through before because of Mount Vernon. The apple
Washington
trees and
apples,
everything.
yeah.
And I've had apple pie come up before because Martha used to make him apple pie all the time from the apples they had on the land. So again, little clues. It's all about piecing it together.
Yeah.
All right, so let's follow up with them and then kind of see what's happening.
All right.
I'm ready for another drink.
We were asking a question and it said raised, and then they were like, raised what? Like children, stop.
So he showed me the video of where he could see it. And he's literally like one of these black blob, like a little black blob just moving.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let me look at my face. Is it like a blue dot right here with my nose?
No.
No?
No.
It is for you.
I have a blue dot on my nose?
It's not like a blue
See how hot
dot.
she is?
But look, your nose is a blue
He said
dot.
I have a blue dot on my nose. I'm like, what are you
Because
talking
it's the
about?
coldest part of her body.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have a
She has
blue
cavities
dot.
in there, so
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can see this.
Your nose isn't blue.
we got the word goodbye. Let's
Bringing
focus.
it down.
All right, so we got the word goodbye, which to me is Eliza is kind of fed up with trying to talk to us. So
Eliza or Alonzo?
Eliza. So with that said, whenever I see terms like that or hear terms like that, I usually end it right away because she's kind of like, no. Like we got the word modern right before that, so we might just be a little too much for her right now, which is fine. So we'll see what comes up on the pictures.
Isn't that the best time to go somewhere when they're like on it?
You're more
No.
get lost.
Again, this is not a provoking type, Zach Bagans type tour. So we're not here to piss them off. We're here to try to communicate. So the answers to the questions that I gave you, Eliza Lucas Pinkney was the one who planted all the indigo, and Eliza Lamb was the insignificant first wife. So Lamb and Lucas were the names I was looking for there. The age that she got married that everybody's so concerned about was 22.
Oh, okay.
So
A lot older than I
I
thought.
kept going younger.
I did
I'm like
too. I was like
16, 14, 12.
14.
Charles was 45. He was over double her age. So there was a 23-year difference between them. So sometimes I'll get 22, other times I'll get 23. Now Liza died at the age of 70 from breast cancer that we know of. So the word cancer shows up here often.
But that's old for back then. Like 70? That's pretty good.
Hey, I think the Nissan is haunted. Because that's the only time I get a reading.
It might be something in
Pointed
the trunk
at
that's
the
making it
Nissan.
go up. But she died in Philadelphia. So again, kind of shows you why we don't go to actual cemeteries, because if you were dead, are you going to hang out where you're buried?
No.
Probably not. You're going to go to the places that you love. The president that was the pallbearer was George Washington. So I'm going to be definitely listening to the spirit box to make sure, like, see if anything came up as far as any clues for that.
Okay.
Let's see, Charles was a Jeffersonian Republican, so I've had the word Jefferson come up and I've had the word Republican come up. There were 4 children, Charles, Thomas, George, and Harriet, only 1 daughter. I get things because she lived in the Myrtle Beach area. She married in Horry, and Myrtle Beach is in Horry County.
Is that where dying came from?
No, the dying probably came from George, which is the baby she doesn't want to talk about. The baby died in infancy.
So we asked how many kids died, or how many kids are here, and the response we got was dying.
So George was actually named after her father over in England. So when I get the name George, like what we were talking about with the president, I need another clue to tell me if it's the son, the husband, or the president that took her to her grave. So again, I don't get excited with one little thing, except
Well,
for...
since you've been talking, this is promise.
Promise.
Well, that's the Pinckney Promise. So Pinckney's Promise was another affirmation added to the Constitution.
So she
What is that?
did all her kids, like, just the one son died.
Right.
But okay, so he was like, she didn't want to talk about her kids. I thought they all like died
No, it's
tragically.
just because you guys
think
don't
she
know all
thinks
their
you're
history, and with only one of them dying, somebody says, tell me about your kids. And then all of a sudden, all the activity stops.
Oh.
So that's why I say just try to stick to them as a group.
That's why I thought they all died or
No,
something. I'm like,
no.
Is that
it's
why it
just the
says cluster?
Plus, there was probably us.
Or
the
too
folks-
many,
right.
too much.
Too much going on. So we're all asking questions. Like, I couldn't hear the red spirit box because we were all talking over each other. So again, with this kind of investigation, I know you guys are here to have fun, but in order for us to do that, it's almost like one question at a time, and the 2 spirit boxes have to separate. So that way they're not kind of overhearing the other spirit box.
So she's got a spirit box and he's got a spirit box.
The Lodlow, yes.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to walk up 4 blocks from here. Oh, the mansion burned down as well. That was in 1861, just so you guys know. So if I hear anything wrapped around a fire, I'll definitely give you those backlinks to show you about that fire. So we'll kind of see what happens there. 4 blocks up to Lodge Alley. Lodge Alley is another quiet area because it's next to a hotel. It's next to Lodge Alley Inn, if you guys are familiar with that. I'll give us a brief history. Spirit boxes, if you're going to listen on the way there, we're listening for names. I'm not going to tell you which names or why, but I'll tell you a little bit more once we get there. The EMF meters are going to go crazy on East Bay because of the parking meters and the crosswalks.
Is that mine? EMF?
One of yours, the big number, yeah. So, and yours. So, again, we got to be careful with the night vision. Obviously, if you want to take pictures without it, by all means do so. Even when we get there, I'll probably say, let's get a night vision picture going down in London.
I got night vision. Shit.
All right, you guys ready to walk?
Yeah.
Let's do this. We're gonna go.
Oh, so the volume?
Yeah, I figured it out.
No. It's here. Volume is here.
Where?
Right here. It's a little skillet. So you go that way to go up.
Oh,
That's why I said it's kind of hard to work.
79 Cumberland is the address. It's the Powder magazine.
Oh, Powder Magazine. My friend's husband works there.
Yeah. You can go to the condom.
just let me figure it out.
The condom with an N at the end.
Hi.
See, like,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fucking
yeah,
what I'm working with.
oh,
I had to figure out a frame of reference. I'm
Got it.
trying to look at something in the dark.
Like, even after a full investigation, so we take 400 or 500 pictures, I only lose 1 bar out of 3. And I took this off the charger before we left.
I was just putting it up to my ear to listen to as I was walking.
Yeah.
Give you guys time to check into the hotel and do
Wait, we're in here, right?
What's your stuff there? So just when people walk by, just put the camera down?
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
It's more or less whenever we're in like parking lots or whatever.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, like that one in the red barn, like if people are coming through, you know, they just get a little funny about it, but you should be good the rest of the night.
Oh, okay, okay.
Get everybody? Still with us?
Yep.
Yeah,
I was worried. I was worried that it would be.
I never watched it. I watched it.
So the regular camera died.
Oh,
Like I pulled it straight off the charger before I left the
and it
house.
just sucked up all the juice.
And normally even one investigator
walking, you go straight to the bar.
like if somebody takes 400 or 500 pictures, I'm gonna lose like one bar.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that it drained it, like something drained it. I have
Right.
a charging station on my desk that has like a million ports.
Yeah?
So I can just plug everything in. And now we're gonna get him into lasers. So I'll explain these ones.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those before.
Seen the red grid ones?
No, I haven't seen the red one.
What that does is when we do see something through it, if I were to actually get it on the phone or the camera, which you won't have the camera. False positive.
False flag. Seriously. It'd be really
How
hard.
hot did it get in the summertime?
Too damn hot.
True story.
True.
Half of them? No, no.
Bowl? Oh, when's a fish bowl?
When you cooked in a bowl, how hot was the temperature?
Did they stop at the bar?
Just gone.
I don't know where they went.
I don't even see them.
So they must have gone into the bar.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened, but my only concern is I have my equipment.
Right, right.
There she goes.
So you said you're picking between
That's in the bar.
The Bailey's dog would be like probably.
Could be bigger than that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi guys.
listen.
We're at the Chicago bar. Sorry. I got excited.
We want to go.
What the fuck is this? Current?
Yeah, current.
Who are we missing? Listen, Rob and Jay, where did they go?
So Rob is here. Jay's trying to get somebody to us. You're good. Ready to go.
Wait, Jay doesn't have a phone. We can't call.
He's got my phone. So
Okay, we can call from my phone.
Oh, so you have this share box. So he's just chilling at the bar?
yeah,
Okay. Alright.
he's trying to get some.
Her best friend's coming in from out of town, and so
They're at the hotel. We're trying to get them to us.
Okay. Alright. So we're gonna keep moving? Is that the plan?
Yep.
Alright.
Good.
You're right. Has to be a white Ford Escape.
Hey, you.
We missed the downtown line.
No. Really?
I go to at
Yeah. Nope. I'm good.
like we would have to put. Could I be okay with just us? I wonder if we're gonna go to Cleveland's Porch. Cleveland's Porch is
Even though it's 50,
I worked there.
Did you really? Yeah. Like I heard at the girls' bathroom. The women's bathroom is where
I'm not kidding.
like stuff
you're like the one that was like baked out mud.
Oh, I get you. I will. Oh my God.
No, I told you about that place. Like, it wouldn't let you work like night shifts. You work day shift first, and like.
Really?
I know. We're gonna be the dudes.
Yeah, I
Hey,
used
do you
to
guys want?
park down at the
Do you guys
battery.
want 2 extra machines?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding. Our dude is back there. Wait, we're gonna be the dudes.
Yeah,
the girls are gonna be the girls.
the bar. I'll take.
So
Okay.
All
And
right.
yep, we'll take
we're,
them.
we're gonna go. It's my
Okay.
bachelorette party. I
All
wanna
right.
do it.
Yeah. I don't even know what this is.
I think I got the truth that spirit boxes are
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to keep separate.
You're supposed to keep separate.
No, but I used to park down at the battery and then ride my
don't know.
skateboard up.
I want to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there were days where I'd make like $3.
I'm like, shut up.
I'm serious. And you always had to work Sunday brunch.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah. So that job sucked. Like, I was just like, it's costing me money to come down here.
Right. They have good food there.
They hand over devices
They
to
did.
Giving us some kind of wherever the wires are.
You tie up for females or males?
Oh, I thought you needed this. I was like, I can
I
help.
was going to put it in my book bag, but then I saw that. I'll just throw it in.
Depends on what I do for a living. I don't like taking you guys that just tell ghost stories.
No, I don't.
I don't know what any of those are.
Ring after ring after ring.
What did the numbers mean?
Something that we're going to see in real time.
What's this?
What's the person's name next to me that I'm here with?
What is the guy's name with the lieutenant? What did it say, did?
Am I Batman?
That's a yes or no.
It was not a yes or no question. He said, fuck yes. I'm sorry. Is $5 the right denomination amount?
Did they take off
They went to go wait.
at the bar?
My brother's other friend that was showing up.
Alright, so this one we're gonna definitely keep running. So yeah, we don't need this light out. We can get that put away. And then I'm gonna hand that spare box off to you.
And what do I do with this? Just hold it?
Yeah, I'll tell you when to turn it up and show you how.
Okay.
So,
How many feet away are you from me?
so here's, did you guys see the alley that we passed up over
Yeah.
there? Okay, so that's Philadelphia Alley. I skipped Lodge Alley because of time restrictions, obviously. Wanted to get some really good investigations and not just stories. So that alley is actually where our duels used to occur here in Charleston. Okay, so that,
Duels.
duels.
Oh, duels. Okay.
So we're not allowed to go down there anymore. It's residential. So, but that doorway that you guys see in the far wall over there, like that opening in the gate, that is where if there was somebody that died in a duel, they would actually come through that gate, over the courtyard, and then over to the cemetery, and they would go celebrate the win. So that's what that gate is there for. Not many people actually know that or talk about it. But the duel that we all talk about, because I do get a lot of evidence from this area because of that specific duel, is the story of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from Rhode Island because he was supposed to get married to his fiancée Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money, and the attorney that was helping her handle that money said, "No, you're not going to get married. Send the doctor over there." So he moves down here. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed, which wasn't a very good start to Charleston. So somebody walked by named Ralph Isaacs. He was a local attorney. He says, "Let me take you somewhere else." So he takes him over to 59 Church Street, which is right down the road. So with that said, the two become friends, and then they start going seeing plays together. But the doctor's practice is taking off and doing really well, so it becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. So it's the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's moving down soon, and he's making lots of money. So at any rate, the two become friends. They go see plays. They can't talk about the plays during the play because they can't sit next to each other because their doctor is higher on the scale of hierarchy. So they talk about William III one night, walking back home to their house, and they start an argument because the doctor loved the new actress that was here and Ralph did not. So it eventually turns into a big insult party on his fiancée Amanda back home in Rhode Island, and the two go their separate ways. Now Ralph is from here, so he calls a newspaper and he puts an ad in the paper about what his face the doctor is. So obviously the doctor sees the ad in the paper, and he battles him to come down here to Village Alley to come settle the score. So
Straight ahead, there's the powder magazine. No.
So the two come down here to settle the whole thing, and they take their 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He don't want to kill his friend. Ralph still has his one shot there, and so he takes it out on the kneecap of the doctor. So the doctor drops, he didn't die, didn't go through the death gate. His friends pick him up and they carry him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. They say as you walk through there, you can hear the whistles and or gunshots. So the things that I get come up on here, I get Brown all the time. I get doctor, doctorate, attorney, R.I., which is two initials. Rhode Island, which is where the doctor was living and he met his fiance, but it's also Ralph Isaac's initials. So R.I. shows up here quite a bit.
Why did they kill him? He like shot his gun in the air to not hurt his friend, and why did his friend shoot him then?
Still wanted to make his point. So a lot of things show up here based on that particular story. So when I used to take my tours through there, this is a whole new route that we're doing now. But we used to get all kinds of things. Cameras, cell phone cameras would always change settings in there. Happened all the time. I'll just have to splice your video together.
Okay.
It's okay. I think we're up to 3 Spirit Box recordings that I have to make sure I got the right ones all lined up. Not yet. Once we get over to the powder magazine. So there's a lot of other historical places here too. You guys see the burning gas lamp off in the distance? So that's the Pirate House. That's where Blackbeard's men would come off their ships and they would kind of have a beer and meet with some ladies. And they dug a tunnel from the Pirate House 1 block over to Dock Street Theater because they would go over there for work. Pirates tie knots really well. It was a playhouse. So they also had prostitution there in the hotel. So I just wanted to get your mind started on pirates because we're going to go talk about the Powder Magazine, and it'll be our last full investigation, kind of like what we did at Pinckney Mansion.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a lot of piratey type stuff, and I didn't even want to add it because I'm not that type of person. But man, is that some cool history when you dive into it.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I've been reading books like crazy the past 6 months on pirates, and there's a new documentary on Netflix. I'm sure you guys have Netflix. It's called the the Secret Pirate Kingdom or something.
Yeah.
What a great documentary! Holy cow! It tells all the story of all of our pirates here. If you're video game players, I don't know if any of you are. Black Flag, Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
So Steve Bonnet is right there at the beginning of it. They tell the story of Mary Read and Anne Bonny, which is about what we're about to go learn right now. So let's go into the detail, and hopefully we can talk to Anne Bonny and Mary Read. Well, this turned out to be a very calm evening.
I don't think you're supposed to piss a lot, like when you're walking and stuff. You know? I mean, it's more like when we're in the areas.
Okay.
Alright, so there's going to be a lot of tourists trying to pop through here, and you're going to see how large they are, so it's kind of annoying actually. But competitive companies. So this is the Powder Magazine. It actually held gunpowder for 7 different wars, and he's going to come right in our way. So if you guys notice the building, like with the little crosses on it, those aren't actual crosses. Those are earthquake bolts.
Yep.
So those are the very first
Earthquake bolts.
Earthquake bolts, the gist of those, if you're unfamiliar, is basically, because we had that big earthquake in 1886, skull, funny. So, skull and crossbones. If you get crossbones on there, that's obviously pirate flag, right?
Yeah.
So, again, let's see what else comes up. So, anyway, back to earthquake bolts. The gist is, because we got scared with our only ones, they started putting these, like, turnbuckles through roofs and through the floors of certain buildings. The apartment building behind it also has them, you just can't see them as far away. So the gist is, if it gets quaked and shook up again, you just tighten up those bolts and it'll set the building right back up again. But those are the very first ones we installed here in Charleston because of the nature of this building. It's the oldest government building that we have on the East Coast. It was finished in 1713. So I also want you to kind of consider that this street that we just walked up, this is Cumberland Street, but this was the original Charlestown Wall. So it actually went right past the Powder Magazine and jutted left south going towards the Battery. So this building is tucked right in the corner, so in case it gets attacked from the water 3 blocks away, the cannon is not going to go through the 35-inch thick wall. In the event that it does, there's sand in the roof that it would explode up, and then it's supposed to drop and put out the fire from the gunpowder. So, but that's a false hope as well, because we had another Powder Magazine with the Battery, and it actually got attacked because it's closer to the water. The sand went up, but was unable to put out the fire from the gunpowder. So that whole building burned to the ground. It's no longer here. So during the time that this was built is when a young lady moved into town from Ireland with her father and his mistress, which was her mother. So with that said, he moved here from Ireland to get away from his angry wife. So she must have been one pissed off, scorned lady for him to go halfway across the world in 1708. So like that's the time period we're talking about, golden age of piracy. So the young lady's name was Anne Cormack. As this building is being finished, it's obviously still familiar to her. She becomes a teenager. We have pirates cutting through town, and kind of going to the pirate house, like I said. And she falls in love with one of them. His name is James Bonny. Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate, so they move to Jamaica. They get married. She's now Anne Bonny. So, but James Bonny turned out to be a privateer, which is kind of like a cowardice pirate. He was basically spying on his own people for the British. So she wanted to fall in love with a badass Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow type guy. So what does she do? She falls in love with another guy. His name is John Rackham. He goes by the name Calico Jack. So Calico Jack, I thought you sound like you heard that name before. So Calico Jack is an up-and-coming pirate, and he has his own ship, and she wants to be part of the crew. But let's face it, women curse pirate ships, because that was the old adage. So he says you can be on the crew, but you have to dress like a guy. She's fine with that because her father back home in Ireland used to hide her by dressing her as a boy as an apprentice of his attorneyship. So she was already kind of familiar with this whole process. She was fine with it, as long as she could be a female in his quarters. Obviously, this is the new beau. So, in the meantime, Calico Jack tries to buy off the dowry from James Bonny so he can marry Anne, and James Bonny says, no, that's my wife. I don't care what she does at this point. I'm married to her. So, She becomes part of the crew. She gets pregnant because she's obviously female in his quarters. What does he do? He drops her off in Cuba to go have the baby. She can't be showing on the crew, right? So he says, we'll figure it out when you come back. She has the baby. She goes back to the ship. There's no baby. We don't know what happened there. A lot of holes in this story. So when she goes back, she's dressed like a female. She doesn't give a damn anymore. But that pisses off Jack. So what does she do? She wants to make Jack jealous. She goes down below deck and starts flirting with the pirate crew that he just acquired and captured. Well, the person she was flirting with happened to be a female. Her name was Mary Reed. She reveals her gender, and she says, sorry, I'm a girl. I don't swing that way. So the two become friends, and Anne convinces her to become part of the crew. So as everybody's down below deck, basically guarding the new pirate crew that they just captured, the British fleet moves in, and Anne Bonny and Mary Reed are left up above deck trying to fight off the entire British fleet. It doesn't work out, obviously. The whole ship gets captured, and all the pirates below deck get tried and hung pretty quickly. A week later, the judge, his name was Nicholas Laws, wants to see Anne and Mary, but they hurried up and dressed back like males. They revealed their gender in front of the judge. He says, I don't care, I'm still going to hang you. So they say, we plead our bellies, which basically means they both claim to be pregnant. So they said, okay, we'll delay your hanging. Dad's still here in Charleston. So he bails out Anne Bonny and brings her back home. What we know from there is that she married again. So we're on guy number 4. We're going to count Mary Reed as one of those guys. And remarries, has 4 kids, and dies at the age of 84. Don't know how we got all that much detail, but we don't know where she ended up. Some stories say Virginia. Some say she stayed here. Mary Reed, she died in a Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. You can use your imagination. I'm sure it wasn't pleasant. But this place has a lot of holes, and again, this would have been more of your expert. If you're thinking of like novice, intermediate, and expert, ask whatever questions you want to. You guys have been kind of doing that anyway, which is fine. And we'll kind of see what we come up with. We'll spend maybe 10 minutes here just to try to capture something now that you guys have the gist of the story. Keep in mind, I've read 5 books on this woman. I only told you the things that, and I've had this rehearsed in my head for so long, the things that were common. I didn't tell you one version of the story. I told you the things that were common throughout all the books and the stories that I've read. So if you want to find out more, let's get some answers on those spirit boxes and see what we can come up with. Your red spirit box, the only way to turn it up, there's a wheel, not the button. Stay away from the button. That's what Jason did. Just turn it up real slow and kind of see what you can capture that way.
Okay, just turn it. Oh, here it is.
Yep, it's right next to the button.
Let's go walk.
That's like at the perfect volume right there.
You want to go over?
How many times did you get married? How many times did you get married? What did you dress as to get onto a pirate ship? What did you dress as to get onto a pirate ship? From Ireland.
But it's kind of
What?
wild because like the place where they killed everybody.
But why are you laughing at me?
You. You're so cute.
What was the other one? Anne Bonny and who?
Who was the other person?
Who was the other person that you were pirates with? Who was the other female you were pirate with? how bad was the earthquake here?
So if you asked how bad the earthquake was,
Was that?
if you asked how bad the earthquake was, that'd be interesting if you actually got a number, since the Richter scale wasn't invented until the...
Right.
Yeah, but did you guys also know, I'll give you a little weird fact, that the church is actually off. It's not a perfect 90-degree angle because of that earthquake.
Oh.
It's off just a hair, like a few degrees.
Huh.
And that this used to be Dock Street. It's only named Church Street now because obviously the church couldn't move when they widened the road.
Right.
It's the only reason why it's named Church Street. But it was Dock Street because the Dock Street Theater was obviously named after the street that it was on.
Right. And didn't the water come up to like almost? I know that there were actual water canals, weren't there, that came through Charleston?
I don't know.
See, I thought that a part of Charleston was actually for the pirates. That's what I had heard. I can't tell you eons ago, like in high school or whatnot, that there were parts of downtown Charleston that was actually water canals for the pirates.
Really?
But I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know of any history like that. And I won't say that I do. I will never make things up.
Right. I just remember, because I thought that was so cool, thinking like this was all underwater, and you know this. But I
Well, I do know, like, there was one cemetery that got flooded so bad that the graves were being overturned, like they were coming up.
Yeah.
So I want to say like that was in like the 1950s or 60s.
Right.
And I can't remember which cemetery it was, but I want to say it was maybe a part of Magnolia because it's pretty much on the water anyway.
Right.
And there's a lot of swampland in there. But yeah, that would be very interesting. Like, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
You know, doing what I do for a living. You know what I mean?
Now, have you read any research? So another thing I remember hearing is like the battery, that when the battery was being built, instead of burying the people, they just actually built the battery on top of the people who died. Did you hear? Is that true?
I've heard some of that, and I did an investigation there. And you gotta remember, I do my investigations during the day. The ghosts don't give a shit.
Right. Right.
And I just have all this stuff running on me, and nobody knows what I'm doing. So I go visit museums and things just like y'all do. But like, I did my investigation at the White Point Garden, and I got nothing. Like I called that blog post and podcast episode was called "Silence at White Point Garden."
Huh.
So, and the reason why I was investigating it too is because I'm involved with The Secret. Are you guys familiar with The Secret? So The Secret is a treasure hunt. There's 12 different cities, 12 different treasures. Charleston is one of them. So I've already dug once. I've been given permission to dig in my location. But given some of the history of that particular location, the ground has been soiled and things could have moved. It's a small box. Like it's literally like 12 inches by 12 inches by 12. Like it's a small little box.
Yeah.
And again, you can't use a metal detector. There's no metal in it. You know, those kind of things.
Right.
But it's a big thing. You should look that up.
Huh.
It's called The Secret by Byron
Is it
Price.
like, what is it, geocache?
Sort of.
Okay.
But it was a book written in 1982.
Okay.
And it had the 12 paintings with 12 verses. And then there's like a fairyland story after it. But the painting and the verse, you have to match them up. And then you have to try to figure out what the clues are telling you.
Huh.
And it is...
That sounds awesome.
I've been working on that thing since I started doing the tour, because the guy I was kind of palling around with, learning from, he's like, this sounds like it's right up your alley, putting clues together.
Right.
So I made a big presentation, took it to the people I needed to down here, got all my permissions from all the boards. I mean, I'm talking Fort Sumter guards. Like, they were like, wow, that's really convincing. Let's get some shovels to the ground. So, I mean, I've already dug once. I'm just waiting on the GPR now, because I think it's shifted over the years.
Right.
So, again, small box. I'm digging, 5-7 foot holes with a bunch of basically committee guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just in case, because if you find something, I mean, that's going to be
I'll make it a tour.
Yeah.
Because I'll show them how I put all the clues together.
Who's Josephine?
It's not her mom.
Green.
Green?
Green came up in Josephine and unprecedented.
Jury makes sense. She was at trial.
I asked her.
So if my name pops up, remember the Chief Justice name was Nicholas. So,
just like Josephine.
but Josephine, I got nothing. Again, that could be part of the 80%. And you guys, I'm going to give you the full list, so that way you guys can see which terms are. Because sometimes it's relevant. You guys are getting words, and it might be relevant to them. We don't know that.
Yeah.
I've had people text me and say, "My cat's name is Radar," and it'll literally say "Cat Radar." That's happened.
Oh, okay.
Like literally. My cat's name is Radar. I can't believe we didn't see that in real time. I'm like, I didn't pay attention to it because there was no cat around us.
Mm-hmm.
Or a cat in my story. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know you guys like that yet. It's funny. It was right before you guys, like when you guys were all calling me and texting me of like, you're on your way.
Yeah.
What is
So,
Josephine's
somebody
last
from
name?
2 weeks ago was texting me about things that they found in their evidence and then a place that they want me to go to in their hometown. I'm like, I got this whole list.
Wow.
All these places these people want me to go to. And it's kind of like, I don't do houses because that just gets too personal. And
Yeah.
I'm not after, most houses have darker things in them and I don't get into that.
Yeah.
So it's all about like what's open, what museum can I go to that has history, you know, what can I go visit, and nobody knows what I'm doing. Like I went to Gettysburg last summer. I went to the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Oh my God, the amount of evidence that came out of that thing. That was my longest episode yet. Like I had to piece everything together. It was huge, big investigation. But nobody knew what I was doing. The camera was hanging out of my pocket on my chest, so I was like GoPro. The red spirit box was just recording in my pocket. I had the word list going on my phone, you know, and the EMF I would pull up from time to time to see if I got anything. So that way I can pay attention to the museum, pay my respects, you know, and it was a very respectful investigation. I was there for about 2 hours, and I just collected it, went home and reviewed the evidence. Boom, huge. I can't tell you how, like, and that's how I do them. Like, nobody knows what I'm doing. If I walk in with Stories in a Cemetery t-shirt, yeah, sometimes I get noticed. It just depends. Like, I'm the ghost guy, you know, and the other tour guides, you'll hear me say, there's Nick the cemetery guy. But they know me by now because I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
But she's not getting anything else, and obviously I've been chatting, so you haven't been able to really listen, so my apologies.
No,
on
that's
that.
okay.
But hopefully we got a little bit of the audio caught on there.
Yeah.
You guys have definitely given me a lot of work to do with Jay hitting that button several times, and the splicing of that takes a little bit of extra time too. So hopefully
I didn't hit the button, I swear.
Did you hear anything on your?
No, I just keep hearing like radio stations like, this is 104.5. And
But again, 104 might be a specific thing. She might have been born on October 4th,
so I'm hearing music and then,
and that's what we want.
okay, it's all I'm hearing is like different songs.
I'll give you 5 more minutes. That way you can kind of get a gist of what to listen for. Do you see where I'm going? Like 104 could be October 4th.
Okay.
Or 10.4 could be a Richter scale.
It was actually a 7.3.
Oh, 7.3. Okay. Meh.
And we're going based off the damage that was here, because again, Richter wasn't invented yet.
Right.
So the, 1920s?
Yeah.
So, and that earthquake was in 1886.
Yeah.
What do you got now? Store. So the museum.
I did hear the word joy. Didn't you have joy on your thing earlier?
Jury.
Oh, jury.
Jury. I'm excited about jury. If you get the word dog, that comes up, that'll be interesting too. The reason why dog is important is because
How far did you sail
when
as a pirate?
Aunt Bonnie was being captured, Calico Jack just kind of gave up. He didn't even fight back. So she said, better to have loved a man and married him than be something taken down by a dog. Or taken down like a dog, or something like that. Like, it was a very specific line. So I've had the word dog show up here before too, which makes some sense.
What was Calico's name?
Michael.
No Michaels. Father's name was William. William Cormac.
Michael and Josephine.
Yeah, nothing on Michael, I guess.
What is Michael's last name?
There you go.
What does it feel like to have to dress like a man pirate?
Is Michael Josephine's?
If you get
What
back
is
like normal or
Josephine's
something like that.
Yeah.
Because again, she was accustomed to it.
Right,
Jack
right.
hid her as a kid. He played her off as an apprentice because he was an attorney in Ireland, but turned into a farmer here. They actually lived close to Georgetown. They just came downtown a lot for business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, their farm was it's like right on a little body of water, right there in Georgetown. It's more McClellanville, I think, now.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if we're really looking at a map, they say it was near Georgetown. I went and found it like on a map specifically because they give you like a specific location. And I found one book that actually had more information than all the rest, and it was fantastic. So I was like, oh, this guy really deep dived into this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get these devices picked up. You guys have folks you want to meet. You're nervous about hitting that button again. I'm not a mind reader.